It's been a while.
It's been such a long while, but it's really fantastic to have you here. I remember walking into, it was Vocal Tech, wasn't it? We were in Turnham Green, and back in the day when I was young and not a kid anymore. But
you can still sing pop.
I can still sing pop. So yeah, and I just remember something about you that I just found fascinating. I mean, you were somebody that you were always energized, you were always sharp, you were always alive, you were always clear. Your clarity, wow. So, and not just in the way that you spoke to people, but in vocality as well. And I remember coming up to you one day and I was just like, how do you, because loads of people ask me that question now. I think I've got a different answer, but loads of people ask me that question now. And I'm like, how do you get so much done? How are you so focused? And da-da-da-da-da. You were just like, as soon as it comes in, it goes out.
Yep. Yeah. And that is still my philosophy to this day. Got to prioritize, prioritize. Even more important now with how, so we're so easily connected now that it's more important now.
Yes. And it just I remember just being, okay, that's what I need to do. And I'm still not as great at it as I saw you do, but
it's like that counts, that doesn't count. That's important, that's not important. That's just, you just got to do it for your own sanity.
I'm getting there. Anyway, good morning. Hola, ¿cómo estás? I am Nadine Benjamin, and I'm the Intuitive Verdi Soprano. I'm a certified NLP mind coach. I'm a certified high performance coach and a healer. And I'm also a professional opera singer who loves singing all over the world. And as I do that, I love championing, connecting, and celebrating people. And this morning, I am celebrating the Kim Chandler. Kim Chandler is one of the UK's top session singers and industry vocal coaches. She runs a busy private studio in Marbella, Spain, and London, where she coaches an elite worldwide clientele of professional singers. In the academic world, Kim has been president of the British Voice Association and served 2 terms as a director. She was a principal senior lecturer in contemporary singing at Leeds College of Music and London College of Music, respectively. Welcome.
Gracias. Bienvenidos.
So as I always say this in the mornings, everybody, you know that Kim and I are not medical doctors or psychiatrists. We're just here to help serve your development and to give some support and some encouragement at this time, and maybe a new way of thinking about things.
And we'll have a nice chat because we haven't seen each other for so long.
I know.
Since I've seen your beautiful face.
Oh, bless you.
Longer since I've heard your gorgeous voice.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. It's so wonderful to have you here. It really, 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 really is.
Into my microphone.
Oh, I love it. It's a microphone.
It is a little mini microphone. Test 1 2 1 2. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't work, but it's the thought that counts. Thank you, Daddy.
Oh, bless you. No. So, like Kim, I find you fascinating. So I'm just gonna go in on the basic level that you will just flower into a butterfly when I ask this question. How did you start? How did you start your wonderful career, your journey? Your wonderful journey.
Well, I grew up in a musical family, so that was definitely a help. Both my mum and dad were singers, and even though they were both primary school teachers by trade, they ran the bands, they ran the choirs, they ran the musicals, all that sort of stuff. So I was involved in those things from a child. And also my mum's mum, so my grandmother, was a professional pianist her whole life. So I actually we lived with my grandparents in Sydney for the first few years of my life, and so I was actually around her playing all day. So I'm sure all those sorts of things have to have an influence in your life. They sort of not really. But the thing that you may not necessarily know about me, young lady, I don't think you'll see this coming, especially because you consider me to be a pop singer.
Yeah.
It's true, I am. But I actually started out my more serious musical life as a classical flautist.
Oh my God!
There you go. Boom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my first degree at Queensland University was 4-year classical degree on flute, and I was actually at that time the idea of my life was I was going to be an orchestral flute player, which is what I did for a bit. And I was also fronting a heavy metal band at that time. So I was as a singer. So I was literally doing both things simultaneously. So I would do like an orchestral gig and have my hair all up like this and white pretty blouse and everything, and doing my flute. And then I would go into the toilets, and like Wonder Woman would sort of turn around and emerge in leathers and my hair out and studs and things, and go off and do my metal gig. So so it's been kind of a crazy journey ever since. I don't play flute so much these days, which is a shame. There's just not enough time in the day for everything. I still have to get it out occasionally. There's actually an Elvis gig down here in Marbella that I do from time to time that requires me to do some flute, so it's good to get it out and just remind myself of my past life. But as I said, I bet you didn't realise I actually had done a classical degree. Yeah, before I did a master's. I did a master's at London College of Music, actually, when we were at Vocal Tech together. And what was interesting is I kept my classical past from my colleagues there, because we were the first, myself and Terry. Do you remember Terry?
Yes, I do.
And we were the first 2 non-classical musicians allowed onto the master's course at that time at London College of Music. Wow. And they found us quite a peculiar breed, because they didn't know what pop people were going to be like, and did we even speak the same language? But as I said, I knew I had the insider knowledge of my classical background. But I'm not classically trained vocally. That's the big difference. So instrumentally.
Morning, Susan. Morning, Marika. Lovely to see you both.
But it absolutely informs my professional life, even to this day. The fact that I do so many reading sessions and things like that, I would not be doing that if I hadn't had such a strong classical training, I don't think.
That's really wonderful to hear. I mean, and it's so funny because, you
didn't see that coming, did you?
No, because we're completely the opposite way around as well, because I started as a pop singer, and that was my, and then it was only after I left Vocal Tech that I started. It's an opera singer. So that's so funny.
I love that. And I love the fact that, we can do different things in different eras of our life, that we do not have to be stuck in the one thing in this life, that you really can chop and change as your heart desires. And we've both done that.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So, I mean, your career, like for anybody watching, this woman, her career is so diverse. Like, how does it feel to be have such a diverse career, but also be so successful?
I can't answer about the so successful thing, because I don't see myself that way. That's for other people to kind of make
what I see you as that. Yeah,
I just get on and do what I need to do. But just in answering your question about how does it feel, for me, it's imperative for my type of kind of excitable, energetic sort of personality. I get bored so fast, right? So I need new things all the time to kind of keep me going. Groundhog Day is not for me. So in order for me to feel balanced in my life and challenged in my life, I need to have a lot of fingers in lots of different pies. But fortunately, not only does it, that sort of varied portfolio-based working life give me the variety that I need. It's also one of those strategies. And since today is, about attitude and sustaining a singing career, one of the sustainability strategies is exactly that, is don't have all your eggs in one basket. You need diversity in the music business, because you don't know which bit of your business at any given time is going to be the thing that flies at that particular time.
And never has that been more appropriate as
right now.
Right now. Like, I really identify. I mean, my thing isn't that I have another, even though I love jazz and pop and all the rest of it, but I love coaching. I like being a coach. For me, empowering people's states of mind and mentoring them. Yeah, I am obsessed with it, and I don't think I could sing and not do that. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it's different, but it's horses for courses. There are some people,
that balance you were talking about. That is my balance.
Yeah. There are some people who are absolutely happy just performing. There are people who are happy just teaching, and that's great. More power to them. For me personally, in a 30-year career, I have basically been a performer all that time, but also a teacher of various types all through that time. So I've done high school music teaching. I even was a French teacher at one point, believe it or not. That one of my Facebook friends is actually, he remembers me as his French teacher, nothing else, even though he's a professional guitarist now. I'm his former French teacher, right? I've taught Spanish at primary school level. I've been, as you say, a university lecturer for 14 years. And now a freelance private coach for quite some time. So I've done all different types of teaching in terms of, and also running big group things, workshops and masterclasses all around the place, and conference presentations and all this sort of stuff. But what I've actually learnt for me is I've had periods in a 30-year career where I've just performed or I've just taught. Hasn't happened very often, but occasionally it's been that. Whereas most of the time it is pretty much 50-50. And I've worked out over time, when it does skew a bit too far one way or the other, I don't feel balanced. I don't feel happy. I need both in my life fairly equally. And I've worked out that that's what keeps me on an even keel.
You've just made me feel so happy, because I've had a slight guilt about it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but the fact that you just said that has just liberated me. It really hasn't. And it's the Kim Chandler magic dust. And if anybody here listening has got any questions for Kim, please put them in the chat. And if Kim can answer them, she will. So just
don't have time. I swear.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. So let's go straight onto it then. So when we talk about, I know you've touched on it there, when we talk about attitude and sustaining a singing career, what would be your suggestions? What is your life experience?
Well, again, because it's been over 3 decades of time, and I would have in that time interacted with literally thousands of people in that time, you really get to see patterns over, just from observation, and I have seen some very, very, very talented people. I'm talking like ridiculously off the chart talented people who come in with an attitude like that kind of somewhat, matches their ability level. And you see them at a session or you see them at a gig and you never see them again. Wow. And it's really interesting, because it's not just talent alone that is going to see you have a sustainable career, because at the end of the day, people need to want to work with you.
Yes. Right?
So one thing we didn't have a chat about before this session is whether I'm allowed to use a mild expletive.
Do what you like.
It's very mild, I promise. But I think I just poked myself in the eye. That's handy. I think this sums it up, and it's a very Aussie way of kind of giving advice. We like to cut to the chase, us Aussies, and be very direct and to the point. We don't beat around the bush generally. You know where you stand with an Aussie, which I think is, somewhat a good thing. Yeah. But I remember being interviewed once for a college who similarly just wanted to have some kind of, tips on how to have a career in the music business. And they said, if you could sum it up in 3 words, like a 3-word motto for how to have a good attitude, how to have the right attitude, a productive attitude in the music business, what would it be? And I had to, I didn't know they were going to ask me this question, so it was literally off the top of my head. And I'm sorry, I know it's blunt. I apologize if you're sensitive. Well, then mute now for the next 10 seconds. But I just basically said, don't be a dick. It was actually that kind of sums it up. It's like if you're a dick, people just no matter how talented you are, they're not going to want to work with you. So sure, you might get that first gig or that first session or first whatever, but if people don't want to work with you, they're not going to refer you on to the next gigs.
And I have to agree with that, because I have an opera company called Everybody Can, and I don't actually audition really unless I absolutely need to, but I go around watching people perform all year. And one of the biggest things I do is I go and talk to them afterwards. And if they are, as you say, I don't consider them.
And I know. Unfortunately, those sorts of people who who operate that way, they shoot themselves in the foot routinely, unfortunately. And as I said, I've seen it over and over and over again. So really, the bottom line is know your craft, right? So you've got to have your skill set ready to go, whatever the skill set is for what you need to do. I mean, you need to be able to deliver. Because otherwise you're not going to get the ongoing business either if you can't deliver. But hand in hand with that ability level, that skill set, is your attitude. Like, are you professional? Are you punctual? Are you pleasant? All of those sorts of things are equally as important as your talent.
And it's also the thing as well, isn't it, Kim? Can you take direction?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as a session singer, that is the bottom line. If you can't take direction, you don't really have a gig, because you are constantly being told by the person or people who have booked you exactly what they want. That's the gig, So, if you literally turn around and say, how dare you? Don't you know who I am? To these employers, that will be your last session with those people. Not only that, but the people they speak to. Oh yes, I booked such and such the other day. They were fantastic. You should book them, right? Or I booked such and such the other day. Great voice, but oh my God, what an attitude! So not only will that one person not book you again, it's all the people they speak to as well. So reputational kind of integrity is everything. And in fact, that's I've got sort of 3 tips today to share with people. That is number 1, is safeguard your reputation, because your reputation, where you've got to give your absolute best every single time, is your best ticket for longevity. Your best ticket. Well, your talent gets you the first gig or the first few gigs, and you've kind of got to let word of mouth do its thing.
And I'm going to just catch into something that I heard you say earlier. You said the business. So do you see singing as a business for the people that don't maybe think like
I understand. Okay, because I guess it's seen in its higher form as just as an art form, which is as a love. For some people it's a hobby, even a serious hobby. But for the likes of you and me, it's our living. It's how we feed ourselves, right? So in that sense, it is absolutely a business. I'm self-employed. Presumably you're self-employed or a company or something. So boring as the business side can be in terms of accounting, it's just a very, very necessary part of the thing. Unless you can pay somebody else to do it, that'd be nice. And you've got to think of yourself as a brand, sometimes as dispassionately and as objective as you are a brand, so you've got, which is why your reputation is so important, because that's a key part of your brand.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to, just for anybody who was kind of not there. So Marika has a question for you. She's got 3 there, I can see. So answer what you like. And so Marika Rauscher, she is a crossover soprano. I know Marika, she's amazing.
Beautiful, right?
And she's saying, what made you move to Marbella? How did that affect your coaching? And do clients fly over to work with you, or do you coach?
That's a beautiful thing. I love what I call that a happy mistake. What you did then? I'm going to call them flyants from now on, because I absolutely regularly, until very recently, for obvious reasons, have people fly down for 2 or 3 days of intensive coaching. Like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. My coach is in Marbella. I have to go. I have to go to that sunshine and beach and beautiful blue sky and everything else. I think anyone who, just to answer, have.
Oh no, we've lost her. Oh my goodness, we've lost her. Where's she gone? Where's she gone? We've lost her. Marika, hopefully she'll come back and answer your question again. Let's see if we can. Oh, bless. Oh, she was in full flow there as well, everybody. Where's she gone? Okay, what I'm going to do, everybody, is I'm just going to shut down and go. Oh, no, she might come back in now. 1 second. It looks like she might come back in. Bear with me a second. Just because she's somewhere else, I'm just going to double check. Isn't she fascinating? She's absolutely fascinating. Let's just see if we can come back in again to the stream. Use the link. So I think she's just going to come back in and use the link via the stream again. So let's just have a look. Oh, so what she's saying is her computer died and she's rebooting now. So we're lucky. She's gone off to the beach. She'll be back. She says, please ask them for more questions in the meantime. So she's on my messenger now. She's saying that that her computer just completely crashed. And this is the thing, isn't it? That when we're doing these, we just never know what's going to happen. So if you have any more questions for her, she's coming back in the studio. I know, she is fantastic, isn't she? She's coming in. There she is. Oh, there she
is. That is the weirdest thing. Never has that happened to me in 10 years of doing online lessons. That has literally never happened, where the computer said, no, computer says no. So
Kim, it's because your energy frequency is so fabulous.
It freaked it out, absolutely, completely. Even my own computer can't deal with me. Right. So anyway, yes, transmission.
Everybody was saying she'll be back, and Rebecca said she's gone off to the beach.
That's absolutely. It's like, yeah, can't be asked with this. I'm off. So I was actually saying, I think I was saying that anyone who's actually visited our beautiful jewel of the Costa del Sol would understand why I have moved to beautiful Marbella, which actually stands for beautiful sea, because mar is sea and bella is beautiful. So it is, yeah, and it certainly lives up to its name. There actually is quite a long story behind how we ended up here, but the long and the short of it is, my husband is a guitarist and is actually now the producer of and runs our recording studios. We have 2 recording studios in our house. I
love it.
We're so gritty. But anyway, basically the long and the short is that we were in an Australian rock band that were booked to be the nightly entertainment at the Expo in 1992 in Seville. We came over from Australia for that, so we lived in Seville most of that year. We never, ever got over it, never got past it, and basically had to come back to Spain to live at some point, which is how we are here. How it's affected my work life is that the vast majority of what I do now is online. So I do... oh,
no, she's not died again. Oh, wow.
Skype session. However, I also do, up until recently, travel a lot. Like there was one year, actually, I think it was 2017 or 2018, I did 47 flights that year because of now all the stuff's coming through. My apologies. Basically, fortunately, Malaga Airport's nice and close. It's only 45 minutes drive away. It's a great airport for being able to sort of get around and about Europe and also the UK. In fact, the flights until recently, I don't know whether this is going to be the case after what we're going through now, but some of the flights were actually cheaper than trains in the UK.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So would you say then that, because you also run a session thing online, don't you, called Virtual Vocals?
Virtual Vocals is our recording service. So we were one of the first in the world to actually offer online recording sessions. In 2004 is actually when we started.
Wow.
Because my husband's a techie, so he has a computer science degree. He was a computer contractor for years. So we sort of married up the tech side, his tech side, certainly not mine, his tech side with my singing side. And as soon as platforms like Skype were stable enough for us to actually be able to do recording sessions remotely, we were amongst the first people to do that. So we've done that ever since. And we do all sorts of bits and bobs, film work and loads of jingles and backing vocals on people's projects, children's educational products, cruise line backing vocals, you name it. There's all sorts of weird and wonderful array of things.
So Lena's saying, yay, welcome back. Marika's saying, yeah, welcome back. And so is Rebecca. Penny Fraser is saying, morning, my darlings. Pat Layton is saying, great so far. My singing teacher and now singing colleague is always on message about the brand thing. Very good to hear from another professional. By the way, I'm a mature student, love performing and take my singing training very seriously. Thanks for these great sessions. So that's
awesome.
Yeah. So what was I going to say? So let's go into your tips. And Annalisa Vaughan is here as well. She said, sounds so exciting. Good morning. So yeah, let's go into your tips.
Yes. Well, I've actually already covered the first tip, which is to safeguard your reputation, because it is the key to your longevity.
Yes.
Talent gets you through the door. It gets you the gig. It doesn't keep you the gig. What keeps you the gig is what you like to work with.
Yeah.
Very important at the moment. The next one, think outside the box.
Yes.
Think laterally.
Yes.
And be flexible. Now, I'm going to read a tweet that I was actually, do you get tagged on tweets? I guess I do. Is that
you do get tagged on tweets.
You already use the wrong terminology, but I'm not going to say who this tweet is from. I actually don't even know the person anyway. And I think they're in the US. But I thought it was very, very indicative of a scarcity and kind of fear-based mindset to do with the music business. And you, with your background with NLP and being a healer and everything else, you would very much feel where this person's coming from. I can absolutely get their fear. There is no career in music for any of us now. Statement. There is no career in music for any of us now. Teaching it feels weirdly irresponsible and it also feels sad and desperate and oddly pyramid scheme shaped.
Wow.
So this was from the 20th of March, right? So this is right at the start of the whole coronavirus, crisis, I guess is the best way to describe it. Yeah. I understand how when the world seems that it's just come crashing down, that this can be a response to it. I'm not judging it. I understand.
Oh, I can hear that.
But so I think I ended up being tagged on this tweet to sort of try to give hope.
Yeah.
That it really isn't the case. There is a career in music. I am living testament, and I have other colleagues who are living testament of the fact that you can still have a busy career in music, even in lockdown, if you think laterally. That's what I'm saying. Be flexible. If you think that there is one way of doing a music career, that is the issue right there.
That
is the issue. So that's why I thought it was interesting, where it's like there is no career in music. That's categorical, right?
Yeah, that my heart goes out to that.
Me too. When I read it, I went, "Oh God," But I could see that the fear-based kind of tunnel-visioned. Like my life has just completely changed, and there's going to be no way back to this. And it's like, well, there is. You just have to think around these things.
Yeah.
And I also thought it was interesting the bringing in the teaching angle. It feels weirdly irresponsible because there's no. This person sees there's no future. It sort of seems irresponsible to continue to teach it. So you can see it has ramifications further than just the performing career. So what I thought was amazing is when you see stories in the media like Aarhus in Denmark, where doing gigs in old drive-in theatres because people can come in their cars. They're all safely distanced. They're in their own little bubble in their car, and they can watch the gig. On stage. Now that is thinking laterally. That's thinking outside the box.
Yes.
And it's those sorts of things that that really it's a mindset that we absolutely need to stay with the times, to stay with the trends of what's happening. Because if you only have one way of seeing things or only one way of doing things, it's not going to be the greatest strategy for
no, which is why I'm getting everybody to plan their time, because if they plan their time, they're empowering themselves. If scheduling things and upskilling. Some people like I never thought I'd be producing and doing this every day.
You are.
And then here I am. And I've recorded an opera as well. I've recorded an opera. I had to do it on my phone. I had to look at the lighting, and then I had to send all the files back. I'm recording another thing like later on. So it is what you're saying. Think laterally.
Think outside the box. Yeah, absolutely.
So America is saying, love it, amazingly diverse. I'm all over it. And here. Marjorie is saying, hi, lovely people. Lily Scott is saying, hi, Lily. And Louise is saying, brilliant as always, Kim. And Marjorie is saying, think outside the box. And Rebecca is saying, absolutely, staying flexible. And it's true. It's like we've got to, and I think the biggest thing is to remember is that we are creators.
That's it. So be creative. Absolutely. Absolutely. My last point is very dear to my heart, which is why I've actually left it till last, is be a lifelong learner.
Yes.
You need to continue to grow, to challenge yourself, stay interested, stay enthusiastic, stay current. There's so much to learn. Like when people say to me at the moment, I see various things in various places of people that I'm so bored. I'm so bored. It's like, I have no literal concept of boredom. I don't know what it means. I literally don't know what it's like. I still feel like there is not enough time in the day, not enough hours in the day to do everything that I want to do.
Exactly.
And in this day and age, with the internet, which is the full, pretty much, repository of all human knowledge to the current day, and we all pretty much have that at our fingertips, and people say they're bored, that, again, is lack of flexible thinking. They're just not seeing what's at their fingertips, So I had something happen yesterday that just literally came out of the blue as an example of the lifelong learning stance. I mean, I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of, furthering education, particularly about vocal pedagogy, because that's kind of, one of my main interests. So I do spend a lot of time kind of swatting up on that side of things for what the latest thoughts are about things and latest research and things pertaining to the voice. But just when I thought I'd pretty much done everything that would be required of me as a session singer in terms of skill set, I had to record a Hamilton medley. Now, anyone who knows me well knows that musical theatre and me are not mates. We're not happy bedfellows at all, but a gig's a gig, and I've never seen Hamilton. I don't know one single song from Hamilton. I don't know anything about Hamilton. I've heard of it, that I know it's a musical theatre piece. That's all I know, right? So I get sent this medley to record all the guide parts for a choir, and it's fantastic, I must say. It actually now makes me want to see it, which is extraordinary. That's a miracle in itself. Yeah. But there's one section that it's all rap, and like really fast rap as well. Yeah. And I've never had to do rap in my life until yesterday. And not only rap, but sight singing rap, right? So
singing rap,
which no rapper would ever have to sight sing the rhythm and the lyrics of rap. But I did yesterday. So, old dog, new tricks, that is that's just how it's got to be to stay sharp, to stay on the money.
Kelly Fraser is saying amen to lifelong learning, stay forever inspired. Amen, Kelly. Rebecca Louise Dale is saying yes, that's what we were saying yesterday. The days are going so fast. Exactly, Rebecca. We were having that conversation. Yep. And Marjorie was saying, who could be bored? There's not enough time in the day. And Kelly Fraser is saying, Kim, get that bloody book published. Yes, I'm going to second that. Thank you, Kelly.
Have you been talking to my dad? My dad is even bollocksing me about that as well. Don't worry.
Okay, listen, I've got, none of us have got any time, but we're going to always say, ask a busy person. If you send me bits of your book down the line, I type 125 words a minute. I will type it up for you. And keep sending it. You just have to dictaphone it.
No, that bit's done. That's actually not the sticking point. What the sticking point is, the actual text is done. It's other bits that are the...
Okay, we need to talk. Not now, but we'll talk. Okay, so what I wanted to say is, so tell us where everybody can find you, because I'm sure everybody's buzzing like now. Where can we find Kim?
Well, my Twitter handle, if that's the right terminology, is at Kim Chandler Vox.
Yeah.
I think it might be the same for Instagram. I'm not much of an Instagrammy girl, I must say.
Your Instagram is Kim Chandler.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be one or the other. Yeah. But as for websites, my poor out-of-date website, because I just, again, time to actually update the poor thing. Anyway, it's kimchandler.com. No surprise there. KIMCHANDLER.com. Funkyandfun.com, which is my product, my 94 exercises of funky and fun, which Lewis Capaldi seems to be rather taken with, and he keeps putting on his social media bits of him singing along with funky and fun exercises. It's so random. I don't coach him. I have no connection to him at all that I'm aware of. So goodness knows how he knows about that. But anyway, thank you, Lewis.
And they're incredible. That's why. And you've coached people like Paloma Faith and all of those kind of people. Like we just love you.
And my recording service is virtualvocals.com. That's right, folks. It's virtualvocals.com.
I love you. So, all right. So, Laura Lixenberg is saying for the book, try affinity.com. It's self-publishing software.
Nice. Thank you for the tip.
Thanks, Laurie. Thank you.
Well,
any final thoughts for us? Like, you're just so incredible. I'm so glad we didn't lose you. I thought we'd lost you forever there in the middle of that.
Well, my computer tried, but I got
but this time, instead of the computer saying no, Kim Chandler said no.
That's it, absolutely. So, I mean, I guess really, I'd just like to reiterate the 3 main points again, as they are attitude things, but they are also, we're looking here at sustainability.
Yes.
Sustainability, not probably any career, not just a singing career, but it's a singing career that I'm more aware of, obviously. Yeah. So safeguarding your reputation, keep your nose clean. Your network is everything. Yeah. How people speak about you, good or bad, is the bottom line. Think outside the box. So being flexible, thinking laterally, if one door closes in front of you, turn around, go to the next one. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, that one's shut. It's not the end of the world. There's other options. Let's have a look at them. Yeah. And the last one, which is the real heart of the matter from my perspective, is be a lifelong learner.
Yeah. Thank you, Kim. You've been wonderful. I'm sure everybody else has loved you as well. I mean, I can see from the response that everybody's just loved having you in the room and loved having you in the chat session.
Oh, thank you. It's just been so lovely to reconnect with you, though. I must say, like, what's just so crazy, and it'd be the same like with Kelly or anybody else that I run into from time to time. That time at Vocal Tech was so precious. There are so many people I still treasure from that time, that I'm still in contact with from that time, that I still work with now from that time. Yeah. And it almost feels like those intervening years since you and I spoke just literally just disappeared. Yeah. And we're just kind of, cut and chopped to now, like nothing happened. I mean, how long would it be? It's got to be scary amounts of time.
It's 12 years, 13 years?
Absolutely, but it just does not seem like that, because that affinity thing is just there.
Yeah, we're all together. Like Medley and Gemma, or on my heart.
Gemma.
Yeah, my heart. Like, it's just so strange how, and it is, and I think there are certain courses that I've taken where, and all of us are really successful. Like, and I don't mean it like success, I mean, we've all got the career that we wanted in singing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we've got all Marina and the Diamonds. Like,
I know. Look how well she's done. It's incredible.
I know.
But, I mean, I guess that's another sort of final point to think about as well, is that there are many ways of doing well or being successful in the music business. It's not just being a touring performer as the pinnacle. There are very, very diverse career path.
Yeah. Well, take care. Listen, tomorrow we're going to have the composer Shirley Thompson coming to talk to us. I can't wait for her to join us tomorrow. But once again, if you would just join me in just celebrating this wonderful human being. Woo! Thank you so much for such an amazing show, and we will carry so much of what you said with us throughout the rest of our lives, and we'll make sure that we put your stuff in the comment section so people can see where you are. But sending so many
this lockdown hair. I haven't had a haircut in 2 months. It's just outrageous. Oh well.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you all for listening. We love you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.